Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 7th, Tuesday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call tomorrow night at 9 p.m., and then a Reverse Aging Health call Friday of this week at 9 p.m. When we come to a full conclusion with ourselves that each of us have the power to transform our thoughts, and that is not serving us or the world into the most beautiful, loving, kind, generous, and compassionate thought. And our ability to shape-shift our thoughts into the most enlightening thoughts in the universe. And we can completely transform our thoughts and our lives because we are the true masters. It's just discovering it. Somewhere along the line, we kind of fell into a void, temporary amnesia, knowing who and what we are in these bodies. Many of us, it's either I think a lot of the times it's not consciously aware. Many of us are manifesting more challenging experiences of this life than is necessary, simply because we are spending more time trying to deal with life through our heads, rather than using our hearts. And people always, will say, well, I believe I'm using my heart. Well, you'll know, because the energy emanates and is constant. It doesn't come from the head to the heart. And that's the trick. The ego mind will dictate to the heart mind. And a lot of the times we believe that we're coming from the heart mind. And this is a habitual head trip, and it can leave us feeling dry and disconnected from living our passion, finding our mission, and discovering our deeply eternal loving soul purpose. By constantly over-analyzing ourselves, others, and the infinite material details of this world, we fall into some attempt to be in control of this life, and later feel bound by experiences of loneliness, separation, and isolation. Spending too much time up in our heads, we forget how to access our heart's natural wisdom and its infinite resources of love, compassion, and divine connection. The power of living from the heart center is enormous and deeply transformational. The heart holds the key to our expansive and enlightened state of being. By simply holding our awareness on our heart center, or even a few minutes, just for a few minutes, we can spark the ignition to fire up a deeper spiritual connection with this life. In just a few minutes, the heart slowly begins opening, expanding our consciousness, and allows us to feel what it's like to totally trust in this life and ourselves. Totally trust. This open heart lets us know we're held in the hands of the universe, showing us how we can relax deeply, completely, while we listen to the sacred heartbeat of God pulsing from inside each and every single one of us. If we wish to find out what living this life is like as a fully self-realized enlightened being, we must choose to live in a complete devotion to our heart. The heart muscle, the heart must become our fundamental base and spiritual guide. It must be the source where we find clarity about how to say what we most need to say and what are the most loving actions we could take today. In order to reach this enlightened state, we must choose to reach deep into our souls, beyond our minds, and allow ourselves to feel all of those rich, deeply eternal, loving, good and bad human feelings buried inside us. We must choose to feel all the darkness and lightness inside ourselves, while trusting that the spiritual fire from the heart is powerful and bright enough to transcend it all. Maintaining a perpetually open, loving heart is the secret to a beautiful life. Maintaining a perpetually open, loving heart is a secret to a beautiful life. The quality of an open heart keeps us warm, loved, feeling safe, if ever life should treat us in a cold, bitter fashion. One might say that we are able to keep our hearts open 24 hours a day for 7 days a week, and we can only manifest positive, successful, intimate relationships with everyone in our lives. It's truly impossible to get hurt in any relationship if our heart refuses to close. We simply reconnect to an infinite source of love instead of getting sucked into the playing the role of the angry victim. The enlightened one lives only in the heart. When he or she moves about and deals with people and things, he or she knows that what is seen is not separate from the one supreme reality, the Brahman, the self, what is real. Ramana Maharishi. The visualization, well, oftentimes we visualize, and that it can greatly expand the love, energy, and vibration of our heart. In just a few minutes, we can notice a shift in the feeling of warmth, lightness, and love expanding inside our chests. A happier consciousness will soon begin bubbling up inside of us, and we will feel we are deeply connected with an infinitely healing source of love. You practice this visualization every morning and evening, and you'll experience the energy of deep, eternal love growing inside your body and spreading throughout your life. The more often you do this meditation, the greater you'll increase your overall manifesting ability and capacity to remain in a constant positive flow. And you can do this or not do it. You do it for the next 21 days in a row. It's totally wild how powerful and effective this heart meditation truly is. For the first 30 seconds of this meditation, focus your mind on the energy of the most enlightened, loving, sacred, or holy being you have ever met or heard of. Focus on that. For the first 30 seconds, focus your minds on the energy of the most enlightened, loving, sacred, or holy being you have ever met or heard of. Perhaps this is Jesus, Buddha, Mother Mary, a saint, an enlightened guru, an animal, or maybe someone you admire spiritually. Now visualize them standing right in front of you, knowing this is a higher vibrational being than you are here to help you in front of you. Visualize them standing right in front of you, knowing this is a higher vibrational being than you are here to help you open your heart. You may meditate on a picture of this being if it helps you to feel their presence is in front of you now. If you do not feel familiar with any enlightened being, just imagine your heart is a beautiful flower opening to the warm rays of the sun. If you are challenged with visualizing images in your mind, do not worry, for it's accessing your feelings inside which are the most powerful and important. The more you learn how to relax your body and trust your inner world, the clearer your visualizations will eventually become. Take at least 60 seconds of focusing and feeling into this enlightened being's heart. Truly sense that it's like what it's like to live a day of their life with their heart. Keep reaching into their heart, sensing how much love they contain inside. And breathe this deeply, eternally loving feeling into your body. Imagine your heart and their heart are merging to becoming one stream of amazing golden heart energy. Visualize and feel a channel of golden light which is connected from your heart into theirs. Let this golden channel of light energy melt through all the hard, untrusting, distant, or protective walls that may exist around your heart. With each breath you take, and remember, easy in through the nose, easy out through the mouth. With each breath you take, feel this golden channel of healing light is getting stronger, brighter, and spreading the energy throughout your entire body. Know you are always connected to your enlightened being's heart energy, yet allow yourself to deeply rest and relax inside your heart. Notice if there is any new expansive energy radiating from inside your heart. Bathe in your own heart, releasing any protection hardness or walls that were there. Let this be a deeply healing experience, and imagine the golden light is rooting and anchoring itself all throughout your body. Know this golden light is always available throughout your day and will help you soften any walls that may suddenly arise around your heart and relax any tension in your body when needed. Bring your new golden radiating heart out into the world and share it with everyone and enjoy. The one thing that love requires is to let others know that they are not alone. Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. Frank Zappa. Life is our greatest teacher. This life. All life. It has this mysterious, seductive way of showing us how deeply powerful, creative, and incredibly penetrating we are. This world wants to be penetrated by each of us, by our energy, our creativity, our love, and our consciousness. That is why it is here. The world is here to experience you, so that in return, you get to experience it. This is the cosmic setup on how we can learn, grow, and evolve as infinite souls traveling throughout life on our mysterious journey home. We are not just passive observers watching our lives flutter by. We are also not just actors on life's stage, playing out these random personalities in the garden variety of roles handed down to us. We are that indescribable expansion and contraction of consciousness that is weaving itself in between. We are the blend of the observer, the observed, and the actor on the grand stage. We are the energy that's creating our actions. And this detached observer who is watching it all magically unfold. We are this interwoven space, this timeless spiritual essence that is beyond all rational comprehension. It can be tricky at first to understand that this divine interwoven mystery is what and who we all really are. We've been programmed and imprinted to believe we are either this body or this soul. We have been programmed and imprinted to believe we are either this body or this soul. That we are either spiritual or material beings. Yet if we look with a penetrating, piercing mind into the core infrastructure of our human reality, we'll see that we are both. This universe is just too big not to contain both. And whenever we begin to identify ourselves with anything other than all three sides of the coin, we needlessly suffer. Whatsoever is given to you is precious. If it was not so, existence would not have given it to you. Osho. Suffering is not always bad. It is the most wonderful indicator that we are not being receptive, open, and available to the universe. Remember that. Suffering is not always bad. It is the most wonderful indicator that we are not being receptive, open, and available to the universe. Thank God, thank ourselves, there's something to notify us when we are off target. Our suffering, however, is not to be taken too personally. Suffering just means the ego, your individuated mind, has got you convinced that it's in charge and running the entire show. It is a master at pretending that your life is something smaller than the divine cosmic immensity that is truly is. The mind has got you hypnotized into believing its minuscule separate version of reality is true. It's like a colony of ants trying to convince every human being that their world is the only system that exists on the planet and the most important one everyone should be focusing upon. All suffering stems from forgetting our connection with the God source. All suffering stems from forgetting our connection with the God source, which originates from a deeper complaint we have within ourselves that says life should be different than the way it is. The complaining ego doesn't trust that the all-intelligent, divinely creative God source knows exactly what it is doing. Our ego maintains its kingly or queenly suffering state because it stopped being curious about this awesome divine matrix of life. It has forgotten about our spiritual freedom, the power of pure consciousness, and our ability to choose what really matters. Everybody is carrying around hundreds of masks. Just watch. Talking to your lover, your boss, or with a person who is not going to fulfill any of your desires. Just watch your face. If you need their help the next day, just watch your face. Is there a moment in your life where you drop all your masks with everyone? Oh, sure. God exists within everything, including our awareness right here, right now. At the deepest level of reality, this universe has given us an opportunity to discover this connection with the divine, which creates total freedom, love, empowerment, enlightenment in our lives. We are given an opportunity, while we are in a human body, to create whatever we wish to, including transcending every level of suffering, life mastery, and mastery over our minds. Inner mastery is available to all of us, to anybody who truly believes it's possible to be free from any type of suffering forever. Some people, however, feel they need to suffer more before they are ready for liberation, while others believe they have had enough and are not willing to tolerate living in some version of inner conflict one more day. The most interesting thing that I've discovered, though, is that people who are truly, honestly finished with their own personal suffering toleration project suddenly create an inner shift in their consciousness that has the most fascinating dimension to it. They begin having a fully open, consistently receptive, welcoming quality to life, which behaves much like a cosmic womb, continuously ready and willing to give birth to a deeper connection with the God source inside. If we look deeper and begin exploring what exactly is this cosmic womb, we see that it is the foundation for all matter and antimatter. It is this awesome, supremely empty, universal blackboard of which all consciousness and all its content fall upon. In a more spiritual context, we might say that the cosmic womb is the home base where the creative, all-loving God source abides. The womb is the feminine aspect of God, and all matter and consciousness is the male aspect. Just as you and I came from a womb, everything in this universe was also born of a womb as well. It is what existed before the Big Bang, before the first thought, before there was any empty void in existence. When we begin personally exploring this 100% pure emptiness of existence, we can often first encounter negative states of emotional sensation, such as lack, apathy, loss, or even depression. This is part of the normal emptying out procedure that is simply a clearing of the ego's list of negative limiting beliefs it's been gripping onto. Through a persistent curiosity, devotion, meditation, prayer, or spiritual practice of investigating this purely empty, cosmically connected womb-like space inside us, we soon discover something radically divine and absolutely precious abides at our core. At the core of our inner cosmic womb is absolute freedom, true inner peace, an indescribable self-love, a deeply penetrating awareness, and the connection to all the power and energy in this universe. Now, that might sound quite outrageous and unbelievable, yet when you experience it for yourselves, you'll see that's precisely what it is. The cosmic womb is our sacred entry point, our spiritual gateway to instantly commune with the divine. When we are inside this absolutely pure empty space, the most direct, loving inner guidance immediately shows up, providing the most vital information and insights we were most needing to have. Discovering how to live in a constant, reverent communion with this sacred womb within is the most solid spiritual foundation that we can relax our entire lives into. There is nothing more reliable, since the cosmic womb is always there, always ready to be received, and always creating the deepest possible transformation within us all. When we surrender deeply to this life, we discover our own personal relationship and intimate connection with this deepest experience of reality. And to prove that it is real, we are given the gift of effortlessly finding total mastery over our minds, peace with every emotion we have, a profound unity with our own consciousness, and thus total mastery of our lives. All the greatest treasures are hidden behind that which we wouldn't want to be with. You are this ultimate mischief and brilliance. All the wisdom, compassion, and treasure is within each and every one of us. So where are we going to hide it? I find it such a surprise to notice that who we are is the pulsing heart of the emptiness, the mountain strength of vastness. Pam Wilson. The East have known about this purely empty state for thousands of years, and they call it shunyata. It means pure emptiness, yet in a positive sense, not like the negative interpretation that's cast upon being empty in the West. Since the Western mind is more focused on materialism, productivity, and achieving things in the outer world, emptiness would seem like a negative experience for the traditionally conditioned Western mind. Because the Eastern mind, sees all matter as illusory, transitory, here today, gone tomorrow. Then that which is void of matter, purely empty of thought, is understood to be our closest connection to our divine spiritual nature and ultimate foundation. Discovering 100% reliable spiritual foundation is the most colossal gift we could ever give ourselves. Finding that with that which never changes is always permanent, always reliable, eternal, indestructible, and absolutely free simply sets the mind at ease. It allows our souls to rest in our bodies, to experience the feelings that we can be at home here now, no matter what seems to be happening in the outer world. The cosmic womb is the great doorway to our highest freedom and the full realization of our unbounded spiritual nature. It is our essential entry point for how we can instantly reclaim our spirituality, which in turn initiates and complete mind-body healing and permanent access to the state of unlimited potentiality. Just a few seconds in the womb, we immediately experience heaven is within. We encounter a timelessness, an infinite spaciousness inside that opens a purely awakened mind, unstoppable energy, infinite love within ourselves. We discover we are already spiritual beings at the core of every moment. We experience our spiritual indestructible essence is always here, always now, and always available. Right now, you have the small light of the ego to help you to see, to grow, to find your way, and you are afraid to extinguish it. Then you will fall into utter darkness for a time while the dark night of the soul. In a dark night, even a glowworm is quite a hope that light exists. Oh. The cosmic womb inside each of us right now is easy to discover. In fact, it takes zero effort and energy to realize it is here. The more the mind efforts to try to find it, the more elusive the womb becomes. Our cosmic womb, each of us, can only be found through a deep relaxation into our consciousness. It is not something experienced when we are unconscious, half-conscious, or operating in automatic habits of the mind. The womb is only found when the mind is not there. When we are free from all the demands and desires of the ego, only then can we fully relax, remove all of our masks, and happily reveal the amazing enlightened beings we all truly are. Our cosmic womb is found through a constant experience of receptivity and surrender. When we can become supremely unguarded, free from any need or agenda, only then are we fully receptive, and the God source instantly enters us. We must surrender. We must choose to surrender completely to the totality of our existence, to all our problems and their solutions, letting everything release. And in this great letting go, all the answers to this life's greatest questions seem to be painted in perfect pictures on the womb's vast, infinite, holy blackboard. This grand emptiness is so profound that the infinitely creative source has no other choice than to draw out all the answers for you. This power in the womb is so intoxicating and liberating that all our pains and personal issues are orgasmically taken over by the divine. The womb wakens us instantly, points us back to the most radical essence of who and what we truly are, and gives us exactly what we are most needing to experience. To initiate the process of discovering our inner cosmic womb this week, start with being more allowing, welcoming, receptive, and expansive in your thinking than normal. A good exercise is welcoming each experience of this life and its opposite, meaning welcome in the pain and the pleasure, the joy and the sadness, the frustration and the ecstasy, etc. The cosmic womb is already allowing all the good and bad experiences in this world to play out on its universal blackboard without discrimination or judgment. It is simply allowing for everything, including the mind, and its various states of consciousness to unfold as they will. Be like this cosmic blackboard, allowing for all. The very instant we welcome our totality, the dark and the light, we become 100% present to this present moment, and the most amazing discoveries are found. Each moment becomes another epiphany and a holy experience to be revealed. We find every day is a great gateway to absolute creativity, expanded love, and a higher state of consciousness. Through welcoming all the good and bad experiences, we can allow this unlimited God source of energy to freely enter our lives. It's good to know that everyone is going to be reflecting back to you where you are. The world will be mirroring those good and bad parts of yourself that you might not be aware of. If you are feeling stuck in a relationship, trapped in a job, powerless in a financial situation, or simply inadequate in your life, you are not feeling into the full contraction and expansion of your consciousness. Let go of this clinging or resisting either side, and let this grand pendulum swing. If you are welcoming everything on the outside and the inside, you cannot and will not miss the cosmic womb. And the good news is that this universe already always loves each and every single one of us deeply. It's perpetually sending us wake-up calls, trying to pour its greatness, its sweet healing love, and wild ecstasy into each and every single one of us. Are we ready for this? Can we handle a cosmic state of ecstasy? Then become ridiculously receptive to every experience in life again. Become like the most beautiful feminine flower, tasting the fresh morning rays of sunlight dancing on your skin. God must enter you here. It has no choice. It must surrender to you. If you allow for it to enter you, simply open yourself up to all of existence. This is the most effortless and easy way to realize and experience your divinity. The ego functions like a blindfold on your eyes. The sun rises and you remain in darkness. The music goes on, but you don't hear a thing. You live in the ocean of love, but nothing is felt. With the ego, you remain like a dying tree uprooted. Then life looks like this long, drawn-out tragedy. The whole thing seems to be ridiculously meaningless, and consciousness seems to be something irrelevant and accidental. Okay. One last word of advice on your journey into the womb. It is a glorious and ferocious ride, and nothing short of that. The mind will have a tendency to try to remain in control, to dictate reality and micromanage your destiny. This is a very old habit which is not going to let go easily. It's going to try to make you believe it is better not to surrender to existence. It feels a desperate need for protection, safety, and security. It tends to live life from a place of fear rather than freedom, love, or ecstasy. Just know that any time you are not feeling free, your mind has taken over, has forgotten the cosmic womb, is here to liberate you, and is desperately trying to escape from some illusionary prison it's caught in. The great spiritual setup here is that our souls have signed up for millions of mind games that believe we are imprisoned so that we can break free and believe we are free. We want to experience it all, and will settle for nothing less. Any attempt to be in total control of the game is pointless and throws our bodies into a state of contraction. Just understand that your mind is stuck in the habit of constantly attempting to find freedom from an illusionary prison that is created, and all the answers and real goodies you're seeking are inside the jail cell. There is no need to escape from it, and when you realize this, the bars and the walls will suddenly dissolve. Any seeking for freedom, love, or enlightenment in another person, spiritual text, or concept is inherently coming from the feeling of missing out on this divine spiritual womb-like connection within each and every single one of us. There is no greater guru than trusting your life and the wisdom in your heart. Realize this deeply and completely. This mind of yours is the only thing blocking you from experiencing this divine God source connection. No matter how sacred the mind is, it is still in your way. The mind has you fooled, trying to achieve some personal private goal out there, rushing around as if your soul didn't have an eternity of time ahead of you. Be careful of the mind. It acts much like a locomotive, coal-burning train that's been hurling down the same old tracks for years. It's never stopped. It doesn't know how to stop, or at least consciously. Of course, the mind may pause for the occasional red light along the way, yet for it to come to a full, complete halt and turn off its engines, whistles, and backup motors is unheard of. If we ever want to discover the divine womb and the greatest mystery of this life within ourselves, we must abandon this suicidal train for good. We must choose to leap far from these old tracks and hurl ourselves into the unknown. It is here that we will find the soft green grass catches our fall, where we can lay the mind down gently to rest as we bask in the golden sunset beyond the fields, making mad, passionate love with God behind the world's closed eyes. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies that we are in, head to toe, inside and out. All the fears, all the worries, all the stresses, all the anxiety, let them go. Release them permanently. Let them go. We have a tendency to hang on to them. We're so used to it that we'd rather hang on to them than let them go, because the unknown is letting them go. What's going to happen when I let them go? What's going to happen? The mind freaks out. You don't care to let those go. We have to have those. So the body remains stressed. Stress, the number one destroyer of these bodies that we're in. That's it. Combination of all kinds of things. And none of us are exempt from it. But we know, we do know, that we can let it go. It's our choice. And it all falls away. It's like a rocket that's going straight up, right? When it gets in the upper atmosphere, it gets like frozen ice around it. As it heats up more and more, that ice will melt away. And you know when your body relaxes. when you just let it go. There is a space that we can all go to whenever we choose. And that's to let everything go. Either in a boat on a just a very calm lake, or in a hammock between two shade trees, where you're not thinking, you are not in the ego, you are not in the mind, your body is totally relaxed. You know you can move, but you don't care to move. You're not deep asleep, but you're not awake either. You can hear things with your ears, but they're very distant. They're not disturbing. You can hear the leaves fluttering. You can feel the wind, the breeze on your face. You are totally, completely relaxed. The body goes, at that point, into the now. Your breath, you listen to, in through the nose and out through the mouth. You feel it. You feel your golden heart center. You experience it, the God within, the space. It's like basking in the golden sunset beyond the fields. And you're still, and you're quiet, and you're in deep eternal peace, love, and gratitude. That's the space. That's the sacredness of space, where you find the entry into the womb of the God that you are. And when that body's relaxed, and you're in the now, and you focus on your breath, you're always in the now. You're never not in the now. You are always in the now when you focus on your breath. What does this do for us? It's sacred. We detach. We don't attach ourselves to the physical material world. It's there. We know it. It's not like we ignore it, but we don't attach to it. And all of us have memories, and we embrace those memories from time to time in this life, and it's fun to do so. We have a personal library in our subconscious minds. We can go up there and grab any volume we want whenever we want. We can reminisce wonderful times that we've experienced in this life so far, and not so good at times either, both of them, both the good and the bad. And we look at them, and we review them, and then we just move forward. And we can go in there anytime we want. We don't stay there, though. We don't live there. Some of us, though, will go into the past, and the past is just dead. It's dank. There's nothing. No air movement. No sunlight. It's just dank, misty, empty. But some of us stay there a long time, and then we don't care to go into the now, because we're too comfortable being in the past. So we bring that past into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past, and relive that past in that future. That's why so many people will say, no matter what we do, we always end up here. Some of us will go into the future. I'm not saying any of this is negative. It's just things that we get distracted with. So we go into the future. But the future isn't there. It's in the now. So we go in the future and we're asking ourselves, why isn't this happening and why isn't that happening? Then what do? We start suffering, right? Because we start having expectations and we start having attachments. And as soon as we get expectations and attachments, we begin to suffer. We get disappointed. We get upset. We get irritated. We get sad. We get depressed. I'm not saying any of that's negative either. It's all in the experience. But it allows you to know that you have not mastered the mind. You haven't, not yet. You are not in the womb of the God that you are. So whenever we have these thoughts, there's tens of millions of programmed thoughts. It's unending. And all of us, these clouds passing by. Some of us, it's like a super highway of cars just zooming by. There's so many. sometimes, we grab onto one and we just kind of float off or zoom off. And here is where it is imperative to understand, to constantly practice gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, and the deepest, deepest, deepest of gratitude. And you say, okay, so I'm wandering off in these thoughts that aren't mine, and so I will focus on my breath, and I will be in the now. Pretty nifty. And the now is all there is, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Because you know what? It stills your ego and mine. It stills it. You know why? Because you leave it. You're not involved with the mind and the ego. You're disconnected from it. It no longer, at that stage, it no longer masters you. That's your first stage of mastering it. It's a tricky character. So when we begin to understand this with ourselves, it becomes much easier. And we move ourselves into autopilot, automatic, where when this happens, we immediately go into the breath. Now we know that our souls, right, come into these bodies and power them up. So body powers up, the lungs start functioning, everything starts functioning, and we breathe. So our breath is divine positive energy because it holds the God. The body sustains the body that holds the God, which we are. And we're heaven on earth. The soul is heaven, the body is earth. And every step we take that we're consciously aware, we're creating paradise. Endlessly. And we're shining our light 360 degrees outward. And what is the light? It is the God, the force, the love, the light. It is the golden light, the golden sunset beyond the fields. That is who and what we truly are. Omnipotently powerful, unending, eternal. You could look at this planet from afar, and when all the gods in the bodies, and the bodies are consciously aware, and the merge is complete, this planet will glow. In fact, this planet is so bright that there's nothing in this universe that can compare to it. That's how bright. With over 8 billion souls and bodies, gods. And we all know that there are parts of us that are not awake. They don't separate from us because there's no such thing as separation. They're just there. They have not awoken yet. But then there's other parts of us that are awake and consciously aware to a certain extent. These are the parts of us that we call upon. You remember, there's no separation. That's an illusion. So this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And the number in this with these is in the gogaplexes. So they come in gogaplexes, trillions of gogaplexes from trillions of universes, all parts of us. One gogaplex fills this entire universe with not even a square inch of sacred space to spare. This includes all the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, all of the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Vedantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, many, many, many more. All of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath her. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've experienced and inhabited. All the galactics, off-worlders, celestials. This is in all of us. Light energy beings. And the off-worlders, celestials, galactics, parts of us parts of them. Not the body, the gods. Now, we're only familiar with just a smidgen of them. Over 1,000 travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. The ones that we're aware of are the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Feline Zeta Reticuli, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian. There's many, many, many more. Now, they've been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage, and our own self-imposed slavery. The light energy beings that inhabit different forms, shapes, and sizes in this planet, on it, in it, above it, below it, different light spectrums, different frequency existences. With these eyes, we only see 1% of what is. So we're familiar with them. They're in unlimited numbers, but we never see them, so to speak. And these are the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. The archangels, they're a civilization that vibrated at a different frequency than we do. So we don't see them. We may walk by. They might be in the form of us and make just a simple comment, total stranger. We interact with them a lot in all the lives that we've inhabited and beyond. And you only will notice it usually after you have met with one. You feel a sense of blissfulness and enlightenment, relaxation. And that was an angel. They all have the same message. It's just delivered in a plethora of ways. And when you go right down to the core of it, isn't it magna glorious to be alive in these bodies, in this now? That is bliss. The ascended masters have mastered ascending into physical form and out of physical form, hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form, are mastering physical form, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. And all of us, Gavin, only those parts of us that are consciously aware that we all are of and from the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And we're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brightness. And this brightness emanates from the God source, the womb. It is of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And it's flooding this planet 24/7, nonstop. All of us, head to toe, inside and out. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, all of our brothers and sisters awake or asleep. There is no frequency higher. We begin to ascend above the planet. As we do, we come into full contact with a massive ocean of glitter. It's huge everywhere. Above us, below us, around us, through us. And we notice that all of these flashing lights, there's gigaplexes of them. And it's just back and forth everywhere. All of us consciously aware gathered in this meditation. And so we go to the actual point of reflection. We notice that they're little tiny microscopic perfectly edged mirrors. So we go into them and we discover that all of us that are consciously aware to a certain extent are learning and teaching. We are learning from each other. We are teaching each other constantly. Whoever comes into your life, whether for a second, a blink, or longer, they're either teaching you or learning from you, and vice versa. And instead of judging the surface of anybody, we're asking ourselves, what are they teaching me? What am I learning from them? It could be a conversation on your phone. It could be listening to a song. Many different ways. It's just massive. It's phenomenal that we have this. This is a knowledge and understanding that there's no separation, that the gods within these bodies are all one. We continue to ascend above the planet. And we're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the purple flaming blue, violet light of Archangel Michael. This is the column of light that we created that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we all created that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, 24/7, eternally, we are protected. This white fire armor is nothing like that we perceive on this planet. It is way beyond. It cannot be penetrated, violated, manipulated, distracted, tricked, fooled, seduced. No demon attachment or possession, no attachments at all. No lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies can come near us at this vibrational frequency. They know they'll perish, so they must not be in our field of the white fire. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, greed, envy, hurry, stress, anxiety, fear, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you are immediately met with a double column of light. The first one is the purple transmuting flame. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness. We're there no more. We are immediately met with the violet ray. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we all created to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbow. We are the sky and the clouds. We are the trees and the forests. We are the soils. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We're the animals. We're everything. And everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise or an ocean view or a starry lit night sky or a rainbow, whatever it may be, it is you. It is the God within you and all of us. The majesty, the beauty, the serenity, the sacredness. It is you. It is all of us. Always has been. Always will be. Ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet, and we come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than this solar system. In the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this humongous golden white ball of light. And surrounding the golden white ball of light are these beautiful ribbons, endless ribbons, rings of multicolored light. And they're all emanating, vibrating out all at once. These energies. It's like a stardust. And it's penetrating, saturating us all. Not like water, not wet, energetically. And the golden white ball of light, it's sending out waves of the highest, of the deepest, purest, eternal love. And then comes gratitude and peace and gentleness and kindness and generosity and humbleness, well-being, great wealth, great abundance, joy, happiness, tranquility, benevolence, huge prosperity. There is no limits. And then we discover that this is the reflection of the God within each and every single one of us. At the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, which it's doing now and has been 24/7 eternally. What is it? It is all of us, all the gods. It is the highest of the deepest, purest, eternal love. All of us are drops of this golden ocean. We hold the essence of this golden ocean. The golden ocean are the drops, and drops are the golden ocean. The only illusion here is separation. We're all one. We are all the God, the pure consciousness. We continue to ascend. Some of us step outside our physical form. We're carrying physical form and hover effortlessly above our bodies. Why? Because we can. we come into full contact with our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere well over 3.5 years ago. It holds well over 1,500 of our meditations in perpetual motion. All of those intentions, all of us gathered, hundreds of millions of us, in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, consciously aware, to a certain extent, that we are of the highest and the deepest, purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. That's our essence. And that's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. You can feel it. You can feel it. Bathe in it. I'll join you in the meditation, return to close us out.
Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out the mouth. Move easily and slowly. In a single moment, in one stroke, you can become enlightened. It is not a gradual process, because enlightenment is not something that you have to invent. It is something that you choose to discover. It is already there. It is not something that you have to manufacture. If you have to manufacture it, of course, it will take time, but it is already there. Close your eyes. See it there. Be silent. Have a taste of it. Your very nature is what I call enlightenment. Enlightenment is not something alien outside of you. It is not somewhere else in time and space. It is you. It is your very core. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and then to the following morning. Then we will return here, September 8th, 2021, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and then 9 p.m. to continue our time for change call.